Life lessons and epiphanies, they come in all different shapes and sizes. However, in a million years, I never thought that I would have one while sitting beachside, eating a juicy mango and looking out at the beautiful, sparkling Cayman Ocean. It's not the Cayman Ocean, it's the ocean where the Cayman Islands is. And yet, that's what happened. Last week, a couple weeks ago, Podsters, I was in the Caymans. I caught up with an old friend, and she said something to me that really had me shook. And in today's episode, I'm going to drill down on three things you can do so that you stop admiring other people for the life they built and you instead sit back and you're grateful for building the life that you built. Let's do this, Podster.
Are you ready to speak up, stand out, and get your seat at the table? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to Unmute Yourself, the podcast where you'll get real-life anecdotes and actionable tools for you to step into your strengths, debunk imposter syndrome, truly know your worth, and show up like you own the room every time. I'm your host, Nancy Medoff, who did the thing and followed my passion for empowering women like you to unleash that inner spark and become who you know you are meant to be. I'm a diehard foodie with a raging Skittles habit who will not stop until women everywhere unmute themselves and truly thrive at work, at home, or wherever you may be. Let's do this.
Podsters, before we dive in, I want to make sure that each and every one of you is aware of a very, very special coaching package that I'm offering only for the month of February. Here's what this is. In honor of Galentine's Day and women supporting women and really stepping in to your best life so that you really can thrive in 2025, I'm doing a very, very limited time, super condensed, highly intensive coaching package to get you unstuck and moving in the direction that you want to go. So here's what you get. 3 power-packed 1-hour coaching sessions. So this is three coaching sessions, one-on-one private with me. You also get unlimited support in between sessions because we can't accomplish everything we want to accomplish in that 1 hour. We cover a lot. You're going to want to think. You're going to want to do some research. You're going to want to come back. You're going to want to make decisions. And I'm here for you in between those sessions. There is no long-term commitment. Usually I have a 12-week minimum. I'm waiving this minimum and I'm offering these sessions and this package at 60% off of my regular coaching fees. Only the month of February, only for people who have the link, which I am putting into the show notes, and only if you're ready to really dive in and do the thing. So what do you say, Podsters? Who's with me? The link is in the show notes, and I hope to see you soon. Podsters, we're back, and I have been wanting to record this episode for 2 weeks. This is the episode where we talk about how manifesting is cute and manifesting will work. I'm not talking about sitting on your couch and trying to call in whatever it is you're looking for. I'm talking about declaring it and putting it out in the universe and using your confirmation bias to get yourself closer to what you want. That works. What I'm talking about is how to design this life that you really, really want, yet you're not quite sure is available to you. And the reason why I'm really hot on this right now is because this hit me like a ton of bricks. I just got back from a 2-week vacation. Well, like 2 week, it was a week of vacation and then a week of working remote. But anyway, and I had the good fortune to be hanging out in the Cayman Islands, which if you are not from the United States, right here in New England right now, it is literally 12 degrees Fahrenheit. There's snow everywhere. I'm looking out my window at piles of dirty, nasty snow. It is not fun. It is not fluffy. It is not cute. It's icy and freezing. So we escaped to the Caymans for about a week. And I was sitting on the beach and I caught up with an old friend of mine. I'm going to call her Lisa. Lisa is newly married, smart enough, and created a life where she gets to live in the Grand Caymans. So she lives there. And I met her about 4 years ago, and we see each other, kind of not often, but through social media, we keep tabs on each other. And we're sitting there having lunch beachside at this beautiful restaurant. And she said to me, you know, I only really see you through kind of what you're doing with your business. And she goes, but I talked to you and I know you and I know your husband. You just do what you love and you disregard all the rest, or you can't remember the exact word she used, sidestep. I don't know if she used that word, but my thought was you sidestep the rest. So she said, you do what you love and you don't do what you don't love. And first of all, and I kind of chuckled. First of all, I was very flattered because that to me is the ultimate. That is, if you get to design a life where you're doing what you love to do and only what you love to do. I'm talking professionally, I'm talking personally, everything. I'm not saying there's no strife and there's no issues and there's no challenges. We all have those. If you get to wake up every day and step into a day that fills you with joy, that is everything. And that has always been only what I want for myself and only what I want for you and my clients and the people I speak with. So for her to say that, I was kind of floored. And then I chuckled and I thought to myself, yeah, but anybody can do this. Yes, it's accurate. And also, this life is available for you, Lisa. And I remember thinking, she thinks that she doesn't get to do this. And you think that you don't get to live a life where you are really, really joyful every day. And I'm here to tell you, you do. You do. And for the next few minutes, we're going to talk about how. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's not money. It is doubling down, getting clear on what it is that you want, and then really, really going all in on that vision. And I'm going to pause for a minute because whenever I talk about this, I want to make sure I'm really clear. I do not take any of this for granted. I truly, truly am grateful for all of the opportunities that have come my way. Some of the opportunities were luck or strategic luck, as I like to call it, right place, right time. Some of it is where I live. Some of it is the color of my skin. Some of it is the resources that I have. And at the end of the day, I can tell you most of it is that I did it. I took action. Here's what I did, and here's what you can do. Okay. First, and this actually might be the hardest. You need to figure out what success means to you. And let's even not use the word success. Figure out what this ideal life looks like for you. Would it surprise you? I'm going to look down at my notes here. Would it surprise you that most women, they have more life goals than men, and these life goals are less focused on achieving power. So for women, their value and what they're striving to achieve is less about power and more about the ability to live this life. They don't view the high level positions as success. Now, again, because on YouTube, I can tell you right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, people are coming for me on YouTube. So let me be clear. That doesn't mean that women don't want powerful positions. It doesn't mean that women don't strive for the C suite. Of course they do. And if you've been here for a while, you know that this is exactly what my entire platform is based on. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the true values of this truly, truly life where you get to thrive and do what it is that you love to do and only what you love to do. For many women, it's not necessarily about the C suite. So you have to get really, really clear on what this life looks like for you. And that's not easy. That's not easy at all. So it won't surprise you that I have a tool for this. I'm sure many of you have done this already. If you haven't, you know what? I'm not even going to link it in the show notes. I'm going to ask you to get in touch with me either on social media or through email, nancymedoff@nancymedoff.com, and I will send you this vision exercise. So it is really to get clear. Vague goals mean vague results. So the more clear you are on what exactly does this life look like? What are you doing? Who are you with? How are you spending your time? What's around you? Are you in the mountains? Are you at a beach? Are you in a city? Who are the people? And what are those people like? How many people? I remember I did this with a group. I was speaking to a group a couple of years ago, and one of the women in the audience, she wanted to open a food truck. This was if she had her ideal life 5 years from now, she wanted to open a food truck. And I remember I was walking by and I looked at it. She was drawing it out, it looked great. And I said, "Only one?" And she just kind of looked at me. And I said, One? Or do you want, how many do you want? If you want one, that's great." She's like, "No, I want a whole fleet." I'm like, "Then draw the whole fleet. What does it look like? Be completely specific." Because how do you figure out how to get there if you don't know where you're going? You don't get in your car and drive around unless you've set the place you're looking for in your GPS. Same thing. Think of it as your life GPS. And if you're at a point in your life right now where you don't think you have time to do this, I might question that. Is that a limiting belief, or do you truly not have time? Which is possible. So I want you to first ask yourself, do you really not have time, or are you kind of putting up a barrier for yourself? Which we'll get into in a second. If you don't have time, that's fine. Here's what to do. Just start thinking. If you're at the grocery store, if you're standing in line, if you're driving down the street, just start thinking about, well, if I could do what I love to do and only what I love to do all day long, what would that look like? Okay. Just get the thoughts into your brain. That is going to change your thought pattern, which is going to change your behaviors, which is going to change your actions, which is going to change your life. So that's number one. So the first thing is get clear. Second, you have got to believe that this is possible for you. And I can't tell you how many times in my life when I was younger, I would think, I don't have the same resources that person has. I don't have, that kind of life is for other people. I don't really get to do, who gets to do that? Who gets to do that? Unrealistic, I used to tell myself. That's interesting. Talk about a limiting belief. So, which is very sad, makes me sad to think that. So you have to shut down the limiting beliefs. Let's take a real example. Let's take an example now. Let's use Mel Robbins. Many of you listen to the Mel Robbins podcast. I listen to it. It's fantastic. She is amazing. She's a powerhouse. She's an excellent speaker. I think she might have the number one podcast in her category, numerous best-selling books. She's just amazing. And old me would have said, yeah, but she had this, she had that, she had the other thing. She didn't. If you know her story, you know that she had pretty much bottomed out right before she decided to get clear and go after what she wanted. She was broke. She had, I don't want to misspeak here. I'm fairly confident she had some issues with alcohol. Her and her husband were broke together. She would self-admittedly was at rock bottom. And if she can do it, why can't I do it? Why can't you do it? Why can't all of us do it? You have to believe that it's possible. And even if we're not talking about a Mel Robbins or Jennifer Lopez, whoever, even if we're talking about a woman in your company who's very successful, I guarantee you, she had those same beliefs and she overcame them. She overcame them and she took action. She took action and she got support. So that's leading me to my third point, which is get support and take action. So what does that support look like? Here's what I'll say. If you want to open a bakery and you bump into somebody who owns a bakery, a world famous bakery, let's go Baked by Melissa. Love her cupcakes. If you haven't had them, shout out to Baked by Melissa. She's out of New York. Fantastic cupcakes. They mail order. They're fantastic. If I wanted to do what Melissa did and I bumped into Melissa, wouldn't I ask her about it? Wouldn't I say, "Hey, you have what I want. You have this business that I want or this life that I want, whatever it is. I want the playbook. I want the playbook." And the reason why I'm telling you this is because you can listen to all the free podcasts that you want. You can get hundreds of PDFs. I do it myself. I see somebody offering a freebie or a PDF about whatever it is. I download it, I look at it, great, I move on. You have to find someone who can hold you accountable. And I think I talked about this last week. And the best for me, the best way to find someone who can hold me accountable is to find someone who's already done it. That could be a coach, it could be a mentor, it could be a family member, it could be a rando stranger that you see on the street or that you meet, and you say, "Wow, you really seem to be doing the life that I want. Can I talk to you about it?" Talk to them. Formal life support. So let me back up a second. On the beach, when I was talking to Lisa, and she said, that I really admire that you get to do this, this, and this. And I told her, this is available for anybody. This is what I do. This is what my coaching is. And if she had said, "Hey, can you help me?" I would have said, "Yes, absolutely." So finding someone who has been or is where you want to go is the only way that you will be able to do it. Sure, you can struggle. You can try to figure it out on your own. You can make big mistakes. It's going to cost you a lot of money. You can hesitate so much that you're in paralysis, which I've done, which all of us have done. Or you can find the person that you believe can help you. And you can invest in yourself, invest in that person, talk to them. When I say invest, I mean money, maybe if it's a coach. I mean time, if it's a colleague or someone that you know. I mean your energy. We did talk about this last week. I can't stress this enough, especially because we're still in the first quarter of the year. If you don't find someone to hold you accountable, if you don't get support from someone who can walk the talk, somebody who did the thing, you're gonna keep struggling, and it's gonna continue to be an unreachable dream to you. And I fear for you that it's just not gonna happen. And of course, I want you to work with me, obviously, which is why I have all these different packages out there, which is why my Thrive in 25 package is out there for the next week or so. This is a down and dirty, 3 sessions, unlimited Voxer in between. It's a huge discount. The link's in the show notes. It's gonna end at the end of February. This is why I do these. This is why I'm offering this at this kind of discount, because I believe this is possible for everyone. If it's not me, find someone else. Who resonates with you? Who's doing what you wanna do? Who's walked the talk? Simply ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. And maybe it's a 15-minute coffee conversation. And maybe you get enough in that 15 minutes that you start to feel a little better about it. And you start thinking, well, maybe this really is possible for me. Maybe it's a 15-minute conversation and you say, you know what? I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to put myself in a position where this is a priority financially, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. That's what I did. That's what I did. My business coach is not cheating, and she's worth every penny. Some of you know her. She's worth every penny. And I had to change some things. I had to shift my priorities a little bit. So get clear on what it is that you think you want, or what it is that you know you want, but get really, really clear on what it is. You have to believe in the possibility. And this is not a mantra. This is, you have to really believe in it. And you got to take action. And this is what I said to Lisa on the beach. I said, listen, you can do this too. Here's what I'm going to do. What is this? What does it really look like for you? And we started to talk about it a little bit. I said, okay, what's a realistic timeline when you think you might be able to start working towards that? Can't drop everything right now and go for it. So she said, well, here's the timeline. I think I said, great. I'm going to check in with you at that time and I'm going to see how it's going. And just her knowing that there's someone out there that cares and there's someone out there that believes in her and knows she can do it and is willing to give their time so that she can do it. I'm telling you, she's gonna do it. I know she's gonna do it. And that is my wish for you, that, you know that you can do it and you find the way to make it happen, because you can make it happen. You deserve it. You deserve to live this magical life that until now, maybe you didn't really think it was possible. So with that, Podsters, before I forget, so this week's newsletter. So if you're not a member of my confidence community, which I am rebranding, and it's going to be super fun. I have some great ideas floating around. If you're not a member of my email community already, it's free. There's a link in the show notes. I drill down on this even more. This is weekly anecdotes, weekly tools, weekly motivational tips, confidence tips, all the things. Sign up and you can hear much more about it. So with that, Podsters, I am going to peace out. If there's someone that you think will benefit from this episode, send it to them. Send them the link. Send them the link. You never know. You never know. Might be the difference. I love you, and I will see you next week.
That's a wrap, Podsters. And before we go, I ask you, what's one thing from today's episode that you will use this week to unmute yourself? DM me, email me, send a smoke signal, whatever you need to do. Let me know what you're going to do differently. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone you know and leave a 5-star review on Apple. This helps me spread our message of empowerment to more people worldwide. Let's do this.